Hi, this is Whispers, and this will be the reading for the sign of Sagittarius for the month of September 2024. The deck that I'm using is a Rider-Waite deck by Pamela Coleman-Smith and Arthur Waite. I've pulled one energy card for the overall month, and for each consecutive week, I have pulled 3 cards for each week. So this is going to be a long reading, so indeed, go get a pad and a piece of paper and start jotting down some numbers. So let's get on with this. So the overall energy card that I got for you is the card, the High Priestess, and yours is reversed. Now that talks about being strongly attracted to mysticism. Obviously, you're watching my channel. It talks about unrealistic expectations about love. So someone that doesn't believe in your spiritual path or your spiritual belief, perhaps you are involved with them. And so you're starting to see things in this relationship, okay? So it may be problems or situations in love where you just can't agree on a way forward. It does talk about one partner spending a lot of time with friends, and perhaps you're not getting the attention that you should or that you figure you should. It also talks about overindulgence in drugs or alcohol. It also says that this may cause problems physically or psychologically in your mind. And perhaps you're starting to, focus more on the bad traits in this relationship or in this individual, and it's starting to affect your thinking that this partnership is good for you. So you may be thinking about pulling away from a relationship or a partnership. Now, it does talk about possibly you needing to take more training in your career or in your work. Looking for patterns in your life. You're looking for patterns. Things have changed over a period of time, and you're starting to see in what direction you're headed. And you're not really sure if you like that direction. So you're rethinking a lot of things in your life. Now, you are noticing different venues that are coming up, different opportunities that are coming up, and you're starting to kind of lean in that direction where you're thinking, well, I don't like what I'm doing now. I mean, maybe I could get involved in that. So maybe you're even going to concentrate on a program of study or get involved in a new program of study so that you can change careers. Now, here's a big one. Just because you love somebody, okay, doesn't mean that you have to be their battering ram. So there might be someone in your life who's very aggressive with you, whether that be psychologically, whether that be mentally, whether that be physically. You don't have to put up with this behavior from anyone, especially someone who claims to be your one and only true love, right? So you don't need to put up with this behavior. So it does talk about you looking at the relationship with fine rimmed glasses, where you're basically really looking at this relationship and saying, okay, something here's not right. Like, I don't feel like I belong. I don't feel like this relationship is good for me. So indeed, there may be a breakup coming. And it doesn't say that it's a bad thing. It just may be the best thing for you. So that's the overall energy. The whole month you're focused on the things in your life that don't bring you happiness. And let's move into that first week, because the first couple of days of that first week, you have the Ten of Swords. And you notice the swords are falling out of the person's back, okay? So this talks about history repeating itself. There is a cyclic pattern of conflict that's taking place in your life, and there might even be some anger issues or resentment issues. This could very well be you. Maybe you're feeling these type of issues toward your family, toward your partner, toward your job. You're being taken advantage of, you're starting to see it, and you're starting to pull away. So you're starting to loosen those emotional bonds or ties that were holding you in this relationship, in this job, in this circumstance, in this living situation. Now, it does talk about there being outside stress, okay? Your health is under control, but it still needs attention. There are some things that you are not noticing, you're not paying attention to. They're little things, but they can build into bigger things if you don't take care of them now. So it does talk about breaking patterns. If you are a person that likes to have a drink once in a while, maybe you're drinking a little bit too often to get rid of some of that emotional turmoil that you're feeling. So that might become an issue if you don't put a block on it now. Now, it does talk about you looking at this. You're going to adopt better actions. You're going to adopt things that are going to change your life in a positive way, because you are finally noticing especially in the first 2 days of the first week of September, you're noticing things in your life that need to change, and you're willing and able to put the effort in now, which is a good sign. So let's move into the middle 2 days of that first week. And the next card that you have is the Page of Pentacles. Now that talks about a message about money. And this might be a message from a friend or a family member. It could very well be a nurse sign individual, Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo. This is someone who's very detail oriented and single focused at times, but when they put that focus in, that focus brings about good results, okay? So this talks about someone who wants to broaden their vision of the world, and they may be talking to you about children, or this may be a child who's talking to you and saying, listen, I want to take a course of study, I want to buy a car, I want to take a driver's course, and they're saying, listen, I could use some help, could you help me financially to accommodate this course? Oh goodness, eh? So this may be a child of yours, this may be a friend, this may be a confidant, this may be a partner, this may be, this might be yourself, where perhaps you're wanting to take a course and you're wondering if you can afford it, okay? But it does talk about the financial need. Okay, so there are some relationship issues in this circumstance, possibly with this person. Relationship issues, okay? This person wants to open up to more opportunities in their life, okay? But financially, they can't do it. So it does talk about delays. It talks about obstacles. Perhaps you're willing to help someone accommodate the need for this course or a change in venue in their life, but you don't have the funds right at this moment. So perhaps you're willing to help them, but you're having to kind of like say, okay, payday's next week, I'll give you so much next week and so much the week after. You know what I'm saying? So not everything can be paid in one lump sum when you are a hardworking individual who has to deal out your money to pay your bills. So someone's asking for help and you're saying, yeah, I can help you, but not right now. Okay, Sagittarius, be very careful with your body this month. There is something in the early stage of development. And I have seen this so many times right across the board. And I have done, I think I'm on my 7th sign. And I'm telling you, everyone needs to be careful of their health and their fitness level. And there's little things. I mean, even people who have issues that start out minor, okay, if you ignore it, it can build into something bigger and worse. So be very, very vigilant. If you have a mold that seems to be changing size or seems to be changing color, or it has elevated edges, there is something that you are not paying attention to on your body because you're so used to being there. I mean, we look at ourselves in the mirror, we don't see the same person looking at us that other people see. Be aware of that and be very, very vigilant in anything that's in your health area that you think is just, something's just not right there. Whether it be stomach cramps, you're having a lot of stomach cramps, whether it be dehydration, where you're seeing that your skin looks a little bit dry or yellow, okay? Check it out. If your eyes, if you have bloodshot eyes all the time, check it out. So it does talk about you getting involved in herbalism or vitalism and adopting some type of special health regime. Now, you might even get some training. Maybe you're deciding to get into holistics and you're taking a course, maybe even an online course in a holistic training method. Maybe you're taking online yoga, online exercise program, okay? So be very, very wary of your body and what changes are happening in your body, especially in the middle 2 days of that first week. You will notice something in your body or in your energy level that has changed, and you need to check it out. So much information in here. Okay, so we're in the last 2 days of that first week. This could very well be you. Could be you in a period of a trying time that you're going through. Because this stands for a fire sign. Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, which you are. So this talks about the fact that there's someone in your life, maybe even you, maybe you're being a little bit domineering, or there might be someone in your circle of energy who's domineering. Somebody has a big ego and a really bad temper, okay? They fall in love with their own ideas. They think they know what they're doing at all times. They don't think that anyone that disagrees with them has any intelligence. And they don't care about other people's feelings. They care about their own feelings. Simple, and that's it. They don't want to hear your input. This is the type of person who would be hated for their arrogance, okay? They're arrogant. They think that they're all that and some more. Now, and they're also the type of person, let's say they're a parent, out of sight, out of mind. If you're not around and you don't pay attention to me and you don't contact me, then I want nothing to do with you. I won't put the effort in. And I know many people like this, okay? Now, this may be you, but it may be someone in your circle of energy, okay? Because it is a fire sign. And it's someone who's unwilling to commit to either a relationship, a job, a circumstance, a situation, because they're very self-absorbed. They're thinking that they know better than anyone, okay? So if a job is offered to them, they're going to think, well, I deserve a higher position. If a relationship is offered to them, they're going to say, well, I deserve better. I deserve better. Now, this card also talks about you needing to reclaim your power from someone, possibly someone who has these attributes to their personality, okay? It also talks about you cultivating your own ideas and your own thoughts. Maybe you're wanting to start up a business. Maybe you're wanting to be a business owner, and you have creative ideas. It also talks about you needing to seek out people with whom you feel safe with your personal expression. So perhaps you're feeling isolated. Perhaps you're feeling that no one around you understands what you're trying to do with your life or what direction you're going. And so you're pulling away from a certain group of people and trying to open up to a new connection to other people who have like minds. There is someone in your life who has power over you. And what it's saying is to reclaim your personal power from this person. It could be someone at work, it could be a partner, it could be a love partner, it could be a romantic partner. Someone is kind of holding those reins a little bit tight, and you're saying, you know what? I want a little bit more freedom here. I don't deserve to be sequestered. I don't deserve to be isolated. It also stands for education. It stands for wanting to get involved in a new program of study, a new job. So possibly you are looking to get a transfer, maybe at work. Maybe you're looking to get out of a scenario that you're in. You're tired of it. You're fed up with it. You're not getting the respect and the laurels that you think you deserve. And that might be a little bit of that arrogance there where you think you deserve better. And you very well might. But you might be a little bit riding on that ego of yours, that big, large, unfiltered ego. Okay, so be prepared for that. Think about that. Are you treating other people the way you expect to be treated? You expect to be treated with respect, but you're treating other people like they're not worthy of your attention or your input. Okay, so be careful because karma comes around always. Okay, so we're into that the second week, and the first card that you have in that second week is a Seven of Wands. A lot of your cards are reversed this month. So this talks about being very creative and having to problem solve. It might even talk about gardening. Okay, so maybe you're needing to let your hair down, and so you're out there in the garden and you're putting your hands in the soil, you're earthing, you're grounding. But it does talk about you needing to move very quickly. Maybe you have plants that you have planted and now it's time to cultivate them. And so this card is just basically saying get the heck out there and get them out before they rot in the soil. Now it does talk about you needing a clearer vision of what you want to accomplish. So maybe you need to reach out to other people for help. Do you need someone to help you in that garden? Do you need someone to help you organize your day or make a plan? It also talks about you being inexperienced in some circumstance. So possibly that's why you need to reach out to other people. Maybe you were planting something in the garden and you weren't really sure what the growing season for it was, or how to fertilize the soil, or how to cultivate the soil, or when the plants were ready for cultivation. Okay, so you're reaching out to other people to help you with some scenario. Now it could be in a garden. It could be in a work scenario, maybe at your job. It could be even in a relationship. Maybe you're opening up to a counselor and you're saying, listen, I don't know what to do. If you have children, maybe your children and you are not seeing eye to eye, and you're reaching out to someone who has kids, who can give you a little bit of knowledge. That might be to a parent. Maybe you're opening up to a parent about some problems that you have and looking for advice or a guiding light. Now, it does say that you're going to have to concede a point. You're going to have to stop thinking that you have all the answers, okay? You're going to have to see that other people have good ideas too. Now, you're a little uncertain about things, so the timing is a little bit kind of shaky for you, okay? But it does say success is going to come in approximately 2 to 5 months. So be prepared to put the effort in. If it's a new job, a new course of study, a transfer at work, okay? Be willing to put the effort in because you're going to need it. So a new sense of identity is forming for you, and it's forming for you because you know what? You're fed up with the same old, and you're wanting to move forward in the situation. But don't forget, fire signs have a large ego, and they're very forceful. Okay, so maybe you're not able to join with other people. You have that inability to join with other people because your words are forceful. It's almost like aggression. So maybe you need to tone it down a bit. Maybe you need to take a course in communication. Or maybe you need to kind of think this out before you speak, okay? Think what you're saying before you open your mouth. And that's what this card is talking about. The spirits are being really tough on you. They're being really tough. So let's move into the middle part of that second week. And you have the 5 of Cups straight up. And that talks about someone from the past coming back into your life, connecting with you in some way. You're feeling relaxed, and you're feeling prosperous, and you're feeling successful. And this follows a period of insecurity, as in that first card in the second week. Sorry, I lost my place. So it does talk about gaining confidence. Your self-esteem is building, okay? You're making relationships work. So this may be a relationship from the past, okay? Could be a friendship. Could be a relationship with a parental figure. Could be a relationship with a sibling, an extended family member. It could even be a relationship with a partner where you're basically working on it. But it says that it's someone from the past. So it talks about past memories, or someone's coming back in some way. Now, it does talk about issues surrounding your childhood. So this person would be from your childhood, okay? And it may even be, you may receive a gift from someone from your childhood, maybe an aunt, maybe an uncle, someone who cares about you, someone who was close to you as a child. But it does talk about something that is triggering memories from the past, and that is from your childhood. You're having a wish that the past could return, that you could change things, that you could go back to the past and change things. And we all know you can't. You can't relive the past, and it's better not to. So it does say that you're missing someone from the past. Maybe you have a parental figure that has passed, and you've been thinking about them lately. I mean, we're going into the fall, and maybe this person's birthday was in the fall. And so that's kind of triggering a memory of them, and you're missing them. So it does talk about you possibly going on a vacation to a place that you have been before from your childhood. It also talks about you looking to meet new people or make new friends on this vacation. When we're feeling depressed, when we're feeling down, when we're living in the past, when we're thinking about what we would have changed in the past, okay? Sometimes you need a break from that mental anguish. And this is what you're looking for. You're looking for a break from all that anguish that you've been thinking about, all the problems you've been dealing with mentally. And so you just very well may be going on a vacation to a place that you have been before, where there are connections. So the last 2 days of that second week there, you have a really good card. Family harmony, fulfillment in emotional relationships, establishing those human connections with other people, being honest, being forthright, being real, being human. So it does talk about you living according to your spirituality, and in some way you are I mean, you might be going to a graveyard to visit someone who has passed, to say your prayers, to say your adieus, to say, I'm here and I'm thriving, right? So you may be having a connection spiritually with someone that has crossed over. It also talks about family celebration. So this could very well be a rite of life passage where you are going, someone is celebrating a rite of life, whether that be crossing over to the Great Divide or whether that be graduating from a course of study, moving to a new level in their life, transitioning. But it does talk about a family connection, and the family is going to support you in every way possible. So it does talk about a sense of empowerment, belonging. So you belong to this clan. This is your group of people. So you are going to connect with these people, and you're going to feel like you belong. You're finally going to feel serene, and you're going to feel that sense of security in possibly this vacation that you're taking to go to some type of celebration. Now, there may be a connection to this group that is going to be formalized. So maybe you are taking a job at a location where you lived before, and you are going to formalize that by signing on the dotted line, possibly buying property there, moving there, escaping the drudgery of where you are and the lack of connection, and maybe you're moving to where there is a bigger family connection, okay? So it does talk about you moving to a new situation, but someone is taking charge of this situation for you, okay? It could even talk about marriage or formation of a new family. Perhaps you are having a child. Perhaps in 9 months you're going to be a parental figure of whichever gender that may be. Now this could also talk about you moving closer to a child in your life. So this is a good card because it talks about closeness. It talks about reciprocity, where the other person is feeling the same way you are. They have missed you. They have missed you. And they need to form that connection with you. That could be a parental figure. That could be a love partnership. That could be a child. Someone wants to reconnect with you. So be prepared for that. That's the last 2 weeks of that second week, or last 2 days of that second week. So a reconnection with a place, a person from the past, okay? Third week, and I did tell you there was a lot of info in these cards. It's a large reading, so be prepared. The next card you have is carrying a heavy burden, the Ten of Wands. So you're carrying a burden, possibly for yourself or for someone else, okay? But you're holding your own. So maybe you're carrying a burden for someone who can't carry it for themselves. Now, it does talk about you actually wanting to be involved in your life. You're wanting to get involved in things, in your community, in your space, in your environment, in your home, okay? You've been hiding your bushel under, or your light under a bushel. You haven't been showing anyone the positive traits that you have. And now you're starting to see, you know what, I do have positive traits. And most fire signs are very aggressive, and they're very kind of like leadership roles. So they're kind of like distance, right? But you're starting to see that you have an inner light that needs to be shone. You need to show that you're caring and you're loving, okay? And that's what this card is talking about. It also talks about you taking on a financial burden or a health or a partnership burden, okay? And you're stressed. You're stressed to the max, but you're doing it. You're doing it. You're doing it because you see that you do care for this person, that you have deep feelings for this person, whether it be a parent, a child, or whether it be a love partnership, okay? Middle 2 days of that third week, you have the Victor's crowns. You have the Six of Wands. That is the Victor crown. So that talks about you finding a balance in your life. You're confident, you're celebrating, you're feeling empowered and very successful in some endeavor that you have got involved in. Maybe you started a new job. It did talk about you moving back to where you'd been before. So maybe you were offered a job in the same location that you worked before, and it's a lucrative job. So it does talk about success. You did get it. So if you had an interview, the job is yours. You are being publicly praised for something, okay? You are meeting challenges head on. So being publicly praised could mean that maybe you acquired a scholarship. Maybe you acquired a promotion. Maybe you're receiving accolades for something that you did on the job, and it's helping you to move forward in something. Now, you may be going to a job that you had before, and maybe you're going to become a foreman because of the new experience that you bring with you from that old job. So it does talk about you showing a high degree of competence, okay? You're taking charge of a situation, and you're being efficient at it. Now, the fire signs that I know, and I know many, they have a tendency to kind of isolate themselves emotionally, okay? They think that they need to take care of everything, and they can't be personable. They can't be human. You can be human, okay? But you need to realize that other people need to see that humanism in you. They need to see that caring in you, okay? And so that's an aspect of your personality that you're going to have to work on in the middle 2 days of that third week. It does talk about a creative partnership that's coming into place. Everything is running very smoothly. You're feeling social success. You feel at ease. You feel at ease in the spotlight. The spotlight's on you at this point in time, and you're feeling like, hey, I can do this. I'm good with this. So if you received a job as a foreman or a forewoman at your old place of employment, you're saying, you know what? I do have it. I do have what it takes. And that's what you're doing here. It talks about you knowing exactly what it is that you're responsible for and how to get it and how to bring it to the plate, okay? So you know what people want in certain situations of high visibility. And that is the success in this card, the victory. You're wearing the victor's crown, but you're carrying it through the crowd, and you're saying like, okay, I did this. I can do this. This is me, right? I'm proud of myself. Give yourself a pat on the back because you've made it. You've achieved success, whether it be in a partnership, whether it be in a relationship, a circumstance, an environment, a job, whatever it may be. This is your laurels. Pat yourself on the back. This is going to continue into the future. So you have reached a point in your life where you're feeling successful. You have achieved what it is that you want to achieve. And that might be recognition. A lot of my fire signs don't receive recognition in their life for the successes that they've had. Maybe they didn't have a close connection to a parental figure, or they didn't receive a lot of accolades as they were growing up, and they always strive for that. They always wanted to be better and bigger and brighter than everybody else because they needed that. They needed to feel like they were important, that they weren't just somebody's pawn, okay? You finally achieved it. You're finally there. So wear that victor's crown with pride. With the good comes the bad. So there might be a situation that's taking place at this point in time after you've reached that successful conclusion where there has to come an ending. There's an ending that has to come in your life in order for you to move forward in a successful way. Now, maybe you're needing to leave an old job, okay, an old relationship, an old environment, and it even could be like moving from an apartment to a house. But there is a change of venue of some sort. One thing has to end for something new to begin, okay? So there might be disagreements, going to extremes, having an argument with someone because you're taking a new job and they say, okay, you know what, get out. I've had enough, get out. Well, the truth is, something has to end for something new to begin. So there might be some conflict there. It also talks about someone who is challenging your identity. Maybe you don't see yourself in the same way other people see you. Maybe people see you as aggressive and over the top and very self-centered, and you don't see yourself like that. Maybe you're not looking close enough. Every one of us has behaviors that we're not proud of, okay? I mean, all of us. Nobody's perfect. There's only one perfect person, and he's not here. He's up there. So there is an intensity in behaviors. Now, it talks about justice. It talks about endings, finalities, a great passion, intense focus, okay? Now, it also talks about danger. So what I'm seeing is that if you get into an altercation with someone, okay, it may go to extremes. So be careful with that. If you get into an argument or altercation, walk away. And sometimes you might walk away and the other person says, you're not walking away, and they drag you back into it. Well, be more forceful. I'm done. Walk away and make sure that you continue to walk. Don't get into it. Stay away from this argument, okay? So it does talk about you having that ability to summon great force or great strength. So maybe someone's going to physically have an altercation with you, and you're able to stop it because of your strength. And I don't mean inner strength, I mean fisticuff, okay? Whether you be male or female. Maybe you're a strong individual, and so you're able to protect yourself in some way, okay? But it certainly talks about intense emotions in beliefs or activities you're getting involved in your environment, interactions with other people. Now, if you're a foreman and you're having to kind of like, be the boss and tell people what to do and kind of like say, okay, you're not doing that right, let's do it again. Or, sometimes you have to be a little bit forceful. You have to say what you mean and mean what you say, and your employee has to do what you tell them to do. Someone says, yeah, I'm not doing that. Do it yourself. And maybe you have to fire them. And maybe you have to walk them to the door. Well, that might be where the aggression comes in. There might be something take place where you have called somebody on what they're doing at work, and they're very forceful back. So it's kind of like a give and take. They're thinking that you're being forceful with them, and they're going to push back. So be careful of pushback. It could also talk about a walkout at work, or a skirmish, or a riot, a protest. Maybe there's a group of individuals that you work with, maybe even you, maybe you're involved in this. Maybe you're saying, okay, you know what, I'm done, I'm out of here, and you walk off the job. As I said, something has to end for something new to begin. Perhaps you were offered a job at a distance where you've worked before, and at the job you're now, you haven't given them your notice yet, and you're still thinking about taking the other job. And then today, the shit hit the fan and you said, you know what, I'm done. And you throw down your gloves and off you go. So that could possibly be it. But it definitely could be an overthrow of a government. It could be a skirmish. It could be a walkout. It could be a war. There might be a war in your environment where things are ending. But it does talk about your safety. It talks about you standing up for yourself, and you're quite able to stand up for yourself. It does talk about a strong need for independence, so pulling away from those energies that are negative towards you, okay? And those opposing values and ideals that you don't want to be involved in. So it does talk about you leaving, possibly walking off the job. Oh, it's such a long reading. Okay, the last week. The first few days of that last week, you had the Five of Swords. And the Five of Swords talks about fear. Fear of the unknown, resistance to change, okay? Denial that change has occurred. And perhaps you're looking for a solution. And maybe you need to research it. Maybe you need to look a little bit deeper. So you might have quit a job. You might want to go to a new job at a distance. And now you're having to research how to get there, how to make it work for you. Maybe you're going down to find, or going up, wherever you're going there to find a place to live, a house, an apartment. Okay, so these are the type of things that are happening, that yes, you have taken a solution in your hands, you've taken a new job, you've walked off an old job, and now you have to go to where your new job is to find a living environment that is suitable for you. It does say that you want more peace in your life, you want less conflict. So you're looking for that surroundings, you're looking for that environment. And you're having this unconscious conflict with yourself. Am I doing the right thing? Am I reverting back to something? Am I kind of giving up my success and reverting back to the past? No, you're not. Sometimes you have to go to where you've been in order to know where you're going. So it does say that there are power struggles that are hidden in your life. And that could very well be in a relationship, okay? And so you're detaching from it. You're detaching from that relationship, that group, that environment, that situation that was non-conducive to success for you. And that's a good thing, not a bad thing. So don't second guess your choices. Middle 2 days of that last week of September. The illusion card. 7 of Cups reversed, okay? So it does talk about a narrowing of your options. You're looking at this situation realistically. And this whole reading has been about a moving away from negativity, moving away from aggression, moving away from relationships, situations, or jobs that were not conducive to your success or to your health, mentally or physically, okay? The mask is going to fall. You're going to see beyond the illusion that you had built up in your mind. Okay, so this is the Dreamer's card when it's straight up. So you have been dreaming of a fantastical type of energy where you thought, well, I'm going to move and everything's going to be perfect. Well, it can be, but you have to put effort into it. And it did say you need to research it. Now, maybe you weren't thinking about other people's vision of success, okay? So you might be suppressing some of your desires in order to adapt to what other people want, what your new job entails, or what maybe you have a roommate, or maybe you're moving in with a roommate and you're having to kind of adjust things because of their wants and needs. It can't all be about you. So it does say that your direction is changing in your life, okay? And you're moving in a direction that you never thought you'd do. You possibly said, I'll never go there again, I'll never move there again, I'll never live there again, I'll never talk to that person again. And bang, where are you? You're back in the past. But you're back in the past in a forceful way, in a forthright way, where you know what you want, you know what you're doing, and that's where you need to be. So possibly moving to the past, or a situation or a scenario from the past, is good for you. Now, it does say that you and a partner, whether that be a friend, a family member, whoever it may be, okay, you're finding a way to nurture your dreams separately or individually, okay? But it does say that any illusions that you had about someone in your life, those illusions are lifting. So maybe you were in a relationship or a circumstance and now you're saying to your partner, okay, I'm taking a job where I used to live. Will you come? And they say, no, I'm not going there. That's not where I want my life to go. And so, as I said, one thing has to end and for something new to come in. So there may be a partnership in your life that is ending at this point in time. And we are in the middle 2 days of that last week. So there is going to be a transition. And this very well could be a romantic partnership that is breaking up due to changing ideals of where you want your life to go and what you want to include in your life. Oh, okay, so we're at the last day of the last week of the month of September. You are having so much change in your life, so much. Change of jobs, change of venue, change of relationships, change of environment, going back to the past, situations coming full force, illusions are being like dropped. You're finding out the truth about things. You're finding out the truth about yourself, about what you want, and about what you're vying for, what you really need in your life. And then bang, change in education. So this talks about a conflict of your conscience, okay? Divided loyalties. Negative experiences with the school system. So maybe you have children, or maybe you're going back to school and you're having to deal with something to do with education. Maybe you don't have the education that you need for this new job. You have the experience, but you don't have the education. And maybe you're saying, well, I don't need that. Well, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do, is what your boss is saying. So you might be looking at options. Maybe you're going to take an online program. But it does talk about being at odds with the rules or the customs or the representative or the goals of an educational institution. Okay? So maybe you need something in order to take this program or this course, and you're saying, well, I shouldn't need that, I have the experience. Okay, well, you might have to kind of step up to the plate. It does talk about someone in your life who's being very rigid. This could be a paternal figure, this could be a maternal figure, this could be an authority at work that's saying, okay, we want to give you this job, we want to offer you this job, but you need this course of study, and you need it before we give you the job. We'll hold the job for you. The job is yours, but you need to take this course. Could be a safety course, could be a licensing course of some sort, okay? Could be a safety course, whatever it may be. But they're being rigid about it. They're saying there's no other options. You have to have it. So if you're watching these videos early, at the end of August for September, perhaps you can prepare for that move. What I like to say is, if you know that you're leaving a situation or a circumstance, always research it first. Make a plan, step-by-step plan. If you want a particular job, make a plan. What education do I need? How am I going to get to that job? Do I have a car? Do I need transportation? What are the hours of that job? What are the prerequisites of that job? Prepare for it ahead of time. Don't just willy-nilly jump into the newspaper, find a job, apply, get the job, and say, oh, I'm just going to move down tomorrow. It doesn't go that way. You have to think about your mobility. You have to think about your furniture, your belongings. You have to be able to move from one area to another area. And I'm taking this based on the fact that the cards are saying that you're moving to a place from the past that is a distance away from where you are. So that's the end of your reading. So it does talk about a lot of changes. And I'm concerned about this card. I'm concerned about the fact that you are doing very successful in this endeavor, in this new job, in this new circumstances. Very successful. But somebody is saying, I need some documentation of some sort. So be aware of that. And if you need it, get it ahead of time. Okay, so I shall see you in October, and hopefully you'll be well settled into this new situation that you're in, and things will be looking positive for you. So I shall see you in October. Take care. Have a wonderful month. Namaste. Bye-bye.